Definitely the scratch patterns, like the one I have at my home is probably more,
I think it's finer.
it's finer.
Yeah.
Because the scratch patterns, like it's almost like the Jigane and Hagane is like super clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely like more medium grit than like fine grit.
But the finish is nice though.
Yeah, like super contrasty and pretty smooth and even. Sam, as long as you're here, you want to give it a shot too?
Yeah.
Cool. And Josh, maybe you can get in on this one too, in front of the camera. I think we have another samue on my chair if you want. So what do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I like how fast it builds up mud.
Yeah, it seems decently fast cutting too.
Yeah.
The smell is awesome, man.
Yeah. The natural stone always gives that, it's like the earth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like you walked into the forest and like just dug some stuff up, and
I
it's
mean,
that same.
smelling it,
Yeah.
I mean, more than anything, than the cutting teeth, the Tenon Tori produces when you're cutting like anything,
Yeah.
it's unlike anything other.
Yeah, well, because you get that mix between like what you would expect from a refined edge, but you still end up with a lot of bite just from all the various size teeth. I think a lot of people say it lasts longer, and like maybe to some degree, but I just never bought into that in terms of like extreme difference in how long it lasts. It's there, but it's not like crazy. Anyways, cool. So that's our first stone. So again, this big Monzento. So I'm gonna kind of rinse this off. In fact, Sam, can I pass this on to you and have you rinse this one off when we move on to our next stone?
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. All right. All right, stone 1 done. Moving on to stone 2. So this is another Monzento, and it's 215 millimeters by 55 by 65. So a little bit smaller, like half the size of the other one. So here you can see what this stone is like. And we'll use a stone holder for this one because it fits and that makes sense. So this one's pretty narrow on top. The surface feels coarser to begin with already. And there's actually a big crack in this one. I don't know how that's going to play out. We'll see.
You see it.
Yeah.
All the way,
Yeah, I think it's all the way through. It comes around to this side too. Huh. Well, this stone might not last that long in one whole piece. We'll see what happens. But this is the second Monzento that we're going to do. So we're going to give this one a shot. And this one's a little bit more red than the last one. But again, I think the surface is going to be a little bit coarser feeling. Yeah, it sounds coarser. Feels coarser. I'm soaking in a little bit more water already. This might be in like the 800 to 1000 grit range.
Smell that.
Super porous in terms of how much water it's soaking in. And it's tough, I think, on like larger knives when the stone is super narrow.
Yeah, because you have to dance on a knife like for quite some time.
Huh. Yeah, this is definitely a coarser stone. Let's take a look and see what things look like. I think this one's a little bit harder feeling than the last one. There's definitely more visible scratches. They're deeper, much more pronounced. That same kind of nice contrast is there, but the scratches are definitely more visible. It soaks in a lot more water, but feels a little bit harder. All right, Hiro, you're up, dude.
Will do. Oh yeah.
You can feel like on the surface, even with your fingers, it's like a coarser
I mean,
feeling.
look at
thing.
the scratch patterns, like 800.
Yeah, definitely on the coarser side of stuff. It sounds coarse.
Yeah.
Is everything all right there?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What do you think? Harder? Softer?
I think it's way harder.
Yeah.
It's coarser too. I mean, the scratch patterns
Yeah.
are like way deeper.
Cool.
But still, the the separation is still nice. So
The contrast,
is still nice.
But I feel like that's a lot of just like coarser stones in general. Like, everyone will use like a 400 grit stone and be like, oh, the contrast is so deep. And you're like, of course it's deep, man. With a 400 grit stone, it's always going to look that way. So I think, with this kind of stuff being that it's a medium grit stone, especially this one being on the coarser side of it, that contrast is going to be a little bit more normal. Sam, you want to give it a shot?
Yeah.
Sweet. This is like a fun way to test stuff out. You get like multiple opinions on things, and now we just got to figure out a way to like link to the specific times for each stone so people can look this stuff up later. What are your thoughts, Sam?
That's a nice tactile feedback. Nice cutting speed.
What about relative to the last one?
Faster cutting for sure.
Do you wear a ring still when you sharpen?
Yeah.
It doesn't like get in the way or bother you at all?
Maybe sometimes.
I've never been able to, like, even when I was cooking, no watch, no ring. Do you wear a watch, Hero, when you cook?
I have to. But this is actually
Because you're like uptight about the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the keen time, like it's like because like a lot of time our clock at the restaurant, it's awful. It always ends up being like 5 minutes off. I get tired of it.
So it's tough when you're like timing out recipes or firing for tables and stuff.
Well, I just rather pre-shift. I just want to make sure that the time's right.
Yeah.
Definitely like the contrast.
Yeah, the contrast is nice. Switch with you over here. So hopefully you guys can see here. We'll try and zoom in on this really quick.
Bring it a little over.
Cool. And that should give you a good idea of what the contrast is like. Boop, boop, boop. All right. So that is this Monzento. So let's move on to whatever our next stone is, which I guess is another Monzento. Sam, sorry, dude. Thank you. All right. So one more Monzento. This one is 45 millimeters by 60 millimeters by 195 millimeters. We're getting like progressively smaller as we go. This one is also pretty narrow. I think this might be tough for a lot of people with like larger knives. This might be better for like small chisels or that kind of stuff as a medium grit stone. But we'll see. Feels immediately less coarse than the last one. Has a little bit more reddish brownish color in there. There's like this cool blue streak that comes through for a little bit. Anyways, here we go. So already it's soaking in less water than the last one, and it's still more porous than a lot of the finishing stones are, but I think you can see it's holding water on the surface a little bit better already. Feels nice. Definitely finer grit than the last one. Maybe as fine or slightly finer than the first one that we were on. You know what, it's the tip part that gets to me when I'm doing it on these narrow stones. I'm like, I gotta like really tuck in.
That's the only reason why I don't have narrow stones, because my knives are all like
You have
shakuichi.
a huge, this contrast is beautiful though. I hope you guys can see it's a much darker contrast. The scratches are still visible, but finer than what they were on the last one. All right, here, I'll pass this one on to you. I think it's starting to sound like a little bit smoother or creamier already. Sometimes it's just about like working through that initial surface.
This one almost feels like the one I have.
Yeah, softer than the first one and a little bit finer.
Yep. And the one I have is about 2 to 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is probably in that like 2,000 grit range. Maybe a little bit higher, but I doubt it. But I like it.
Yeah.
I wish it was bigger.
Yeah. I wish it was bigger. It's very like super close to the one I have.
Cool.
Can you show the contrast to the camera?
Yeah. Look good?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Cool.
Sam, you want to give this one a shot too? Do you use your Monzento a lot, Hiro?
Yeah, intermediate right before I go to Suita.
So your coarse stone is synthetic, and then you go directly from that to natural stuff, or do you start with a medium grit synthetic and then go to the Monzento?
I go to I go actually your 1000, your big 1000.
Yeah.
And then go into Monzento, and then Maruyama Shiro Suita.
Cool. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I bet the Shiro Suita probably takes a long time then, because you're jumping from like a pretty low grit to a pretty high grit.
Yeah, but my Monzento's pretty fine though.
All right.
The one that you gave me, I think, is almost like 3,000.
Yeah, but even then, like, I mean, I tried a lot of the Maruyama Suitas, and they're pretty fine.
They're pretty fine grit. Sometimes I go Hideriyama first.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's got to like at least break it up a little bit. I think a lot of people don't realize that from that whole region, all the silica content starts out around that same like 6,000, 8,000 grit. So there's not so much variation initially. It's just the hardness of the stone and how it all plays together.
Sam, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it feels a bit harder than the first one.
Sam is the quietest reviewer ever.
What's it like sharpening on a more narrow stone?
It's a bit more challenging.
Yeah, the tip part, right? That's the part that gets
Yeah.
tricky. Cool. All right. Sweet. Monzento done.
Okay.
That was super dangerous. forever memorialized on YouTube, right? All of our mistakes stay with us forever now.
Including
All right.
your flub right now.
So forever. So this one is an Alto. It's supposed to be on the harder side of things. It measures 215 millimeters by 60 millimeters by 60 millimeters. Again, a lot of people are asking me for Alto all the time, and so I've tried to bring in some that I find that make me happy. It's tough. I have like a few people that I trust for natural stones, and so I spend a lot of time talking to them, and they make recommendations to me about what they think is good or what they think is bad. And based on their recommendations, then I'll buy a bunch of stuff or try out different things while I'm there. But Alto, they were really popular for a long time, and a lot of people bought them, and now there aren't that many good ones anymore. So finding really good ones takes a lot of time and patience, and you end up buying a lot of stuff that I'm not always super happy with. But this one, definitely, the surface already feels smoother than the last few that we've had. I think this is going to be finer grit by far. And it's way less porous. Oh, it feels nice. It's hard. And you can see it's like a darker bluish, greenish, grayish color here. Again, kind of like on the more narrow side of things. Yeah, it's definitely a hard stone. But at the same time, it feels infinitely smoother when compared to what we were doing just a few minutes ago. But you can start to see that there are parts of the blade that is starting to polish. So it's not leaving as smooth of a contrast. There's like polished chunks. This is kind of normal with hard stones, where you get streaking around the curve. And then there's these splotchy sections where you can see it's starting to polish in some areas. There's not a huge amount of contrast, but the scratch pattern is significantly more refined than it was on the previous ones. Yeah, like almost mirror-like. This is probably going to be in like the 5-6K range of things. All right, Hiro.
All right.
Let's see what you think.
This stone reminds me of like my Tajima, like on Japan, actually.
Oh yeah?
Even like, it feels like my Tajima.
In terms of hardness as well?
Yeah, hardness.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard stone, I think.
It wasn't like Kyoto. I picked up this Tajima, like a blue. You've probably seen the pictures, like gray with blue speckles inside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this feels exactly like it. Yeah, it's fucking close.
Same kind of grit too?
Yeah, it feels almost.
Yeah, see, I feel like this is the kind of thing then, like, going back to your methods with your Suita, like if you started on this and go to your Suita, that's got to significantly reduce the amount of time that it takes for you to get the most out of that finishing stone. You're not making like such a huge jump with it.
You're not
Yeah.
taking such a huge dump.
Yep. Because here we say inappropriate things all day long that I just can't stop myself when we're live on YouTube. Just just can't help it sometimes.
Yeah, it's like my Tajima for sure.
Cool. Yeah, same thing. You're seeing like all the
Yeah.
streaking around around the curvy areas, and then
Yeah.
like parts that are getting mirror polished. Especially near the heel, that section is starting to get super polished. Sweet. All right, Sam. Let's give it a shot. I wonder if this is a format that works well for you guys in terms of hearing us speak about the stones and test stuff out and see. I always try and think of different ways that we can share with you our opinions of how things work in an easy to understand and easy to see kind of way. And before I would just type up my opinions on things on each of the stone pages, but I feel like being able to see things in action, have a video that goes along with it, and also hear kind of live impressions, but not just one person, multiple people's impressions as we go through, has to be a better way to really get a good idea of how these stones are working. So let us know what you guys think in terms of our format of doing this and how easy it is to see or understand what's going on with this stuff. So Sam, what are your thoughts on this one?
Nice hard feeling.
Do you like harder stones in general, or you go for softer ones usually?
Softer usually.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I'm the same.
kind of feels nice once you build up some mud.
Yeah, it gives that like cushion,
Smooth
like that
area.
mud cushion.
Yeah, Hearthstone definitely doesn't feel that great.
Yeah, initially.
Yeah.
It takes like some time to get things rolling to a place where they start to feel good and look good and be comfortable to use.
Like, once I sharpened a lot of 10 and 20 down in Kyoto when I was in
Yeah.
Japan, I have sharpened a lot of stones that like I'm just like, this is not.
Yeah, but the woodworkers, they love that stuff, man. Like
for
that's
planes
like
and
what
stuff?
they go for.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that get to visit Tottoriya for like, like planes and razors and stuff, and that
Yeah.
really works perfect. It's super hard.
When I was there a long time ago, I was the only like knife oriented person in the entire place, and the rest was just all woodworkers. All right, that's a much finer finish.
Yeah, I like the scratch pattern.
Yeah.
Wish there's
More
a little bit
contrast.
more contrast.
Yeah, and like a smoother look to it too,
Yeah.
because it definitely has that like splotchy, streaky thing going on. All right, next up, we have one more alto. This is another one that's supposed to be on the harder side of things and measures 60 millimeters by 75 millimeters by 220 millimeters. Similar kind of color. There's like a little line over here and like one over here with a little bit of red in it. But in general, it's that same kind of bluish, greenish, gray look going on. It doesn't soak in a lot of water. Feels relatively hard still. Let's see how this one goes. Oh, I think this one is way harder than the last one. And I think it might also be a little bit coarser. The mud is like a dark blue-gray color too. Yeah, I think this must be coarser than that last one that we just tried out. It feels way grippier and like more grabby as I move across the surface with the stone. I have a feeling though that the contrast is going to look a lot more even from this, and it does. It's not as pronounced in terms of contrast as the Monzento, in terms of like darkness of color, but it's significantly more even than the other alto that we tried just a second ago. And it's funny because it does feel harder at the same time. All right. Cool. So we have a look kind of like this. And here, let's see what you think, man.
Contrast is better than the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like much smoother looking, which is funny because it felt very hard, but it worked. It got the job done. Do you feel that same kind of like grippiness to the surface? It kind of reminds me of my like 2000 grit stone a lot in
Uh,
terms of like
the
that, like
pink one.
Yeah.
I have that one. I actually like that one a lot.
yeah, but it has that same like grippy. You know, it's like track tires for racing. Like they just grip the road as you go. It has like that same kind of feeling as you move across the stone surface. So you feel connected to it, like you can feel what's going on. But it definitely makes it feel like a more aggressive stone, I think.
Definitely don't hate it. It's nice.
Cool.
Like it's-
All right, Sam, give it a shot. And then I think after this, we're on to finishing stones, right? Sweet. And because we are doing this live, you know, if you guys have questions, we can see stuff in the chat over here. So feel free to bug us with any questions that you might have about the stones as we're working with them. If we can answer them and they make sense within the scope of what we're doing, we'll do our best. Otherwise, I'm happy to get back to you later. You can also email me questions anytime at JohnJLN@JapaneseKnifeImports.com. What do you think, Sam?
I actually really like this though.
What do you like about it?
Like the tactile feedback. Feels like it's cutting like fast.
Yeah, it does feel like a more aggressive stone.
It's nice.
Are you generally going for things that have that kind of aggressive feel to them? I think, in my experience with you, you seem to like the things that are like smoother and creamier. As long as they cut fast, it's fine. But you seem to like those like resinoid-based things. Like I know you like the Geshin Synthetic Natural a lot, and you know those are on the smoother, creamier side of things for sure.
Yeah.
That finish looks nice and even though. It's like
Yeah.
actually pretty nice. I wish the scratch pattern was a little bit more refined, but part of that might just be us not having spent enough time after that really coarse Monsanto. Like I can see there's a couple scratches really deep in the edge, and like I know when that one went on there. Cool. All right, let's do our next stone. So what do we have here? So this one is the Shobu Tomai Kopa. This one says number 2, so I'm going to say number 2 so we can keep track of stuff on here a little bit more easily. This one's a lot smaller and a lot narrower. As you can see, it's not a massive chunk of stone like the ones that we were looking at earlier. There's a little piece out here that I guess either came off a long time ago, but this is how it came into us. So let's give this one a shot. So this should be more in the realm of what we expect from finishing stones. Oh, that's cool. When there's water on here, you can see some dark spots over here and like a pretty yellow color the rest of the way around. Surface feels smooth. Let's see how it sharpens. Oh, it's fast. Immediately when you sharpen on it, you can see metal being removed. And it doesn't feel like super hard as a stone either. This is nice.
Looks good.
Dude, I think you're going to like this stone here. Oh, the Alto?
Yeah, it
No, the
doesn't-
Monsanto have like a really strong earthy smell.
You can smell it.
This
Yeah.
the smaller Alto smells a little more than this one. Yeah,
Look at this
definitely.
thing, man. This thing is like
Oh,
a
that mud.
super fast cutting stone. And it's not even mud, dude. It's all just metal.
Oh, metal?
Yeah, like look at that, man. And there's barely any stone particles in there. It's just taking metal off. What is up with this stone? This is cool. And it's holding water on the surface really nicely too. So like I haven't really even needed to add any more water. It is still working up mud pretty well. Man. I'm sure if I spend some more time on this, I can get a much more even, smooth looking finish, because I don't think this is going to be, but the scratch pattern is significantly more refined. It's a harder stone, so you'll see still some streaking and some splotchiness, but that might also be from that Alto that we were on just a minute ago. The edge is starting to approach a more mirror-like finish with a slight white hue to it and some like faint wispy lines. Dude, this is a cool stone. This is a really all right. I'm out of the way. Hero. See what you think.
Yeah, this one's nice.
I mean, it feels
Yeah.
like it feels nice, and then you see it and you're like, oh, it's also cutting really fast. I mean, I guess it's not going to be like the perfect stone for a beautiful Kasumi finish, but I think you could put a really, really nice base down, and then hit it with some finger stones real quick, and you would have a really nice looking finish on that. For what it's worth, if you guys are ever interested, we have finger stones. I don't have them on the website, but we generally have some around because I use them. And so we try to stock the things that we use here. And so we have some Hazuya and Jizuya finger stones. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, feel free to shoot us an email, and we can let you know what we have in stock and what kind of price they're selling for.
Super nice. It
Yeah.
feels really good.
Yeah, the tactile feeling of it is really spectacular. And you can see it's starting to approach that like mirror-ish kind of finish.
Like a hazy.
Yeah,
Hazy white.
hazy mirror, yeah.
But the lamination line looks nice though.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool, like separation, but then the Jigane is not as smooth or even.
Yep.
Like you get splotches of mirror-like finishing. But it's definitely a much finer grit stone. This has to be in like the 8K range, something like that, I would say. Cool.
I like it. The feel's nice.
All right, Sam. Let's see what you think. It's like a test. No. I can just tell you you're wrong, maybe. All right. What about your initial impressions?
Nice and smooth.
What about like hardness?
Pretty hard. Not super hard, but
Like firm, but not like what you would call a hard stone.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess I call those medium hard.
Yeah.
Good for knives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a range of things that's good for knives. Yeah, if you go too hard, it doesn't so much make sense. If you go too soft, it's nice in the beginning or when you're trying to fill in high and low spots, but it sucks in terms of really getting like those crisp edges that look pretty and cut with like that additional bite.
The teeth.
Yeah. So far, of the things that we've tried, this is the most enjoyable. Regardless of the different grits and all that kind of stuff, this one was just a really enjoyable sharpening experience. The cutting speed is impressive too. Like when you
Yeah.
look at it, there's just all this metal. Cool. All right.
Yeah, it has a nice, like, smooth feeling and sharpening.
Yeah, firm but like still smooth. Cool. All right, let's move on to our next one. So, next up we have the other Shobu Tomae Koppa. This one we have labeled as number 1, just to help make sense of things as we go through all our testing. So clearly this is a different color. This is more of that kind of like sandstone red, pink. There's like little bits of yellow here on the edge. Let's see how it looks when it gets wet. Yellow shows up a little bit more. There's a cool little line across here. And it's like a yellow, pinkish, reddish, brownish mix. What's the smell like on that other one? Not as earthy?
No, not as earthy. A little.
I wish you guys could see behind the camera. We're all sitting there smelling the stones like... Yeah, super dorky. Taking stuff to a whole new level. This actually smells good now that I just did that. Like, all right, cool. So here we are on the other Shobu Tomae Koppa. So again, fast cutting stone, nice feel. I think this one feels a little bit harder than the last one. It might even be faster cutting though. Holy crap.
That's fast.
Yeah, man, look at that. Holy crap. And like a decent bit of mud too. It's definitely got a firmer feel. So like the mud gives it that like initial give, and there's like just a little bit of give to the surface, and then right underneath that it feels dense. Like if I had to rate stones, we put like our Geshin 6000 Splash and Go, the blue speckled one we have like here. This would be like a 5. This would be like a 7.5. Like not crazy hard, but definitely like a noticeable amount more than this. Let's see what kind of smooth, even finish we can pull off from this. And look, like that mud development is nice too. All right. Ooh, yeah. No, you're still getting like some spots. I feel like with time that could come out, and there's like a little bit of streaking around the edge, but the contrast is nice. I don't think it's actually as fine as the last one. I think it's a little bit coarser because the white, wispy, faint lines definitely feel more hazy here, whereas they felt more mirror-like on the one that we just used a couple of seconds ago. But I don't know, it's still pretty freaking nice. All right, dude.
All right.
I think the speed of this one was like the most impressive part of it for me. It's definitely a smoother, more even finish than the last one, but I don't think quite as fine. What do you think so far?
I like it. I don't know yet.
Like right in between. Like it's close to the last one, but as good, I don't know, maybe. I think I still like the other one a little bit more in terms of feel, but this has better speed.
The other one feels better.
Yeah.
The other one feels like just gliding.
Yeah, this feels, I think, for me a little bit harder, like a little bit more firm. It's solid though.
Yeah.
You know, with natural stones, right, where you look at it head on and it's like misty, and then you put like a slight angle on it, and all of a sudden you have this like beautiful glossy mirror. I feel like that's where it is. So I'm standing off to your edge, just like off to the side of you a little bit, and so from the angle that I see like a mirror.
Yeah.
But when you look straight
Oh,
on,
yeah, there goes. Yeah.
yeah, when you look straight on, you're like,
Hazy.
oh, it's like hazy and misty and white.
I still like the other one actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Sam. Let's see what you have to say about it.
Are you using the camera? Like, angles?
Hmm?
Here, there it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's cool about this camera that we're using is that we can actually set up different shots. You'll see, like, you know, Josh can actually pull it up to our face or go down, and it's all just from the one camera, but it'll cut to different shots as we go. I thought it might give people a more immersive experience in what we're doing over here. But anyways, back to the stone. What do you think?
It feels nice, pretty similar to the other one. Just like slightly harder.
Mm-hmm. Do you like this more, or you like the other one?
I don't know.
It's close enough that you just can't tell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still getting like the smell over here now from the,
Mm-hmm.
like that earthy. It's nice.
Does that one smell stronger than the Copa number 2?
Yeah, I'm standing over here
Oh.
next to Sam, and I can
You're
smell it
getting
right
it.
now. Whereas the other one, like I was all up on it, and I could smell it then.
I
But
think if I were to buy either of the two, I'll pick the first one.
yeah,
Actually.
I probably would go for the first one myself. But we have a lot of customers
Which is
that like,
number 2, by the way.
which is number
This is
two.
number one.
Yeah, we're here to confuse you. A lot of our customers really like harder stones, though, and so you know, not everyone shares in my preference.
I like
but-
hard stones better.
Yeah. For synthetic stones too, or just for natural?
Yeah, I love the Mito 2000, 7000, and then the
Dude, I know exactly what you mean about that. Sorry, excuse me for 1 second. If you guys want to talk about this stone for a little bit more, I'm gonna grab this.
I really like the finish on this stuff. It's really nice.
put it like right here, and then kind of like flip it up and down a little bit.
It's definitely a more even finish than the Copa number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
But still, like the Copa number 2 is probably it's a better finish, but the Copa number 2 is definitely more enjoyable to sharpen on.
It's like nice and bright and shiny, but has a good contrast.
Yeah, I agree. There's something about that second one. It's like the feel on it's really nice. It's like gliding, with some cushion on there.
hmm Yeah, a bit smoother, the other one.
How would you rate the smells? I think that, like, I'm not testing them right now, so that's the way I'm rating them. The large Monzento, I think, is the best smelling of the grouping.
I think Monzento in general smells the best.
I get
that's in general. Like it's Monzento itself that
It smells like
the-
a cold mineral, like
it's like a cave.
cave,
Yeah.
yeah, like water running somewhere.
All right, we on to the next stone.
Yeah.
Cool. So next up, what do we got?
So cool.
All right, so we have the Okudo Suita, the Copa number 2. I guess we have 3 of these, so we'll go through number 2, number 1, and number 3 in that order because we're just not doing good with orders today. Cool. So this one's got a little bit more like yellow, pinkish kind of color. It looks to be like some Renge pattern in parts of it, but it could just be like brown splotching. It doesn't quite look the same as Renge, except in this little corner over here. I think I recall from these ones from a long time ago that these are all going to be on the harder, much finer grit side of things. So let's see what happens. But I think I remember these ones being like crazy hard. Oh yeah. Yeah, crazy hard.
Okudo is definitely like a famous melting.
Yeah.
So is Ohira and Okudo.
Yeah, but even within like the super famous things, you don't always see cool things. You know, there's like a wide variety of stuff out there, and also a wide variety of preferences. So like,
I've definitely sharpened in Japan. Definitely sharpened on like stones that were like outrageously expensive. Like
yeah, we were talking about this yesterday, right? Where there's like, you pick up the stone, and you're like, oh, what is this? And they're like, oh, 10 grand. And you're like, whoa.
Like
but they're huge,
They're
right?
fucking huge.
Like you see them and they're like, yeah, it's some next level
Or it's
stuff.
like a suita as big as this hotel pad in terms
Yeah.
of like size. It's nuts.
I know. I was sitting on one. I think it was like maybe 6 inches wide and like, I don't know, like 1.5 feet long, and then like 2 feet tall. Like you would just put a stool in front of it, and then you can sharpen on it because it's so tall that you don't like. Those were ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember I was down in Kyoto. Like I sharpened. I think I spent a whole day sharpening like I think about 25 to 30 different stones.
Yeah.
And like some of them were great, but when you ask the price on, they're like, oh, 5,000. I'm like, about that.
Yeah, like they know which ones are really good, and they're like, these are the ones we're gonna stick it to you on.
I mean, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, I took home the number 2 favorite. Which the funny thing, the number 2 favorite was actually way cheaper than. It's a funny thing. Like I rated the stones. Like the number 4 and 5s were like, they're like really, really expensive. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a misconception amongst like people is like just because it's so expensive doesn't mean it's good.
Right, exactly. Sometimes you find things that suit your personal tastes that aren't crazy. So, okay, so back to this stone for a second. It's a little bit slower cutting than the ones we used previously. You can still see swarf coming off. It's hard. I feel like it's much harder and finer than what we were using previously. Let me just do like quick uraoshi. This is definitely a much harder stone. So, from this one, it may take a lot more time to get the kind of level of result that you're looking for in terms of polish, but I feel like this probably has the potential to go much higher in polish than the ones that we had just been using a minute ago. I think this edge is going to be like super crisp.
Would you say this is a? Would you say this is a uraoshi?
Oh yeah. No, totally. I would use this for the ura.
How about the koba?
It could. It's hard though. Like maybe too hard. Would you mind passing me a piece of paper from underneath right over here? I just want to see what this edge is like, because I like sometimes you feel the stones and you immediately can tell like this is going to be the one that has that kind of edge. Oh yeah. I mean that's like. I mean you can hear it, but you can like feel it going through that. All right, I'm gonna pass this one over to you. I don't think this is gonna be your cup of tea though. Knowing you and the kind of softer. I mean you like things that I like normally.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't buy this one actually. Oh.
I don't know. There's like there are things there that make sense of it, but not necessarily everything.
I almost feel like this thing needs like a nagura or something.
Maybe. You know what? And I have some that we can try if you want. We can use like some of the tomonagara here, or like this is a really, really hard one that I have here, and see if that kind of stuff helps out a little bit. So that one is a piece of the Hirariyama. I got this Hirariyama in when we first started carrying them, and it had snapped a little bit, just perfectly, like 1/6 of the stone just came off the end. And so I was like, instant nagara, and been using it that way ever since. Does that help out for you?
Yeah.
Makes it a lot better?
Yeah.
You can see the cutting speed is nicer.
It needs it.
Yeah, because I'm not doing so much stuff with super hard stones, I don't really pay attention so much to the Nagara. I haven't really kept them around, but I guess I should start paying attention to that stuff and keep those things around a little bit more if we're gonna have some harder stones like this.
Yeah. I mean, with the Nagara, it's a lot more enjoyable, but definitely it's not my cup of tea completely. But with
Yeah,
the
it's just
Nagara,
hard.
with the Nagara, it's not bad.
Cool. All right, Sam, you want to give this one a shot?
Yeah.
I mean, the edge feels nice. Yes, it's funny. Sometimes that'll happen, right? You'll find the stone where you're like, I don't enjoy this, but then like the edge you get, you're like, this is awesome. It's got like that really crisp bite to it. I don't know. I have a feeling that all three are going to kind of be like this, though. They're all going to be like on that harder side of stuff. Yeah. So when it came to discussing stuff with our stone guy, this time I told him like I want to get some things in that aren't things that I normally had around. I want to try and have some stuff that will be a little bit more within the scope of what other people might like, not so much what I'm into. So let's try like some harder alto, and let's try some like harder finishing stones that might be more up the alley for people that like that kind of stuff than what I normally would go for. So this is what I got. This is what I got. Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting back there again in like a couple of months. It's always fun, just like dig through the back room and see what stuff is hidden there. Because a lot of the guys, they have so much inventory that they've forgotten.
Yeah.
Like absolutely, they have no clue what's going on back there. And so you'll dig through and it'll be like this thing under this box behind some newspapers, and you're like, ooh, what's this? And you try it out, and it'll be like the best suita you've ever tried in your life, or like.
And they're like, oh, it's
Yeah, they're like, oh, that one, like, it was from whatever. My grandpa left it there, and we just never touched it. And
oh, but they don't know it's there. Like they don't even know it's there.
yeah, it's crazy. It blows my mind.
Well, when they killed it, like he showed me like the warehouse, and I'm like,
And they're stacked. It's just stacked.
it's like tens of thousands of stones, and then you're like, he's like, do you even know what you have? He's like, nope.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm trying to do inventory. Not so much.
No, it's inventory. These guys aren't doing inventory.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, right.
So someone asks, Daniel Berry asks, what is a Nagara? A Nagara, there are a few different kinds of Nagara. There are like actual Nagara, like Meijiro Nagara. What Nagara are, they're conditioning stones that you use specifically on natural stones to work up mud or recondition surfaces. So like after you flatten, if you have deep scratches in there, you may want to use a Nagara to clean up the surface. There are also what's called Tomo Nagara, which are bits of other natural stones that you can use to condition the stone surface. And again, they help work up mud, so they'll improve cutting speed and tactile feedback by doing that. Anyways, that's what a Nagara is. Sam, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, for a hard stone, it feels really nice. Like,
Do you like that?
for a hard, I mean,
Yeah,
I
within
don't like hard
the
stones,
range
but
of
for a
hard
hard
yeah.
stone, I like it. Like it's
Cool.
smooth. It's not skittish. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like slippery or
Yeah.
skittish at all. That's true. Sweet. All right.
Nice smell to it too.
That's gonna be our thing. We're gonna have now, like stone measurements and then like smell strength on like a scale of 1 to 10. This was like a 7.5. Hints of pine. It will be like wine reviews. All right. So this is the Okudo Suita Kopa number 3. Smaller, kind of more trapezoidal shaped, almost tombstone-like. Boom. Cool. Let's see how this one goes. And again, yeah, that same renge pattern in the lower section of the stone over here. And it looks like there's some soot, so there's some holes in the surface, which is pretty common with suita.
Yep. So it always has those
Yeah,
holes.
it's the gas escaping as the stone was being formed. Yay, geology. What do you think, Josh? Smell?
It's a softer smell. A little bit more grass-like.
a little more grass, like
Notes of oak and pine. I get some cherry on the
some
tongue.
dried grass. The plains of the Serengeti.
Plains of the Serengeti. It's a good one. I'm worried that this section here is going to be a little bit coarser on the stone. Like if you run your hands over it, you can really feel that section. Let's see. And that section doesn't actually feel as bad as I thought it was going to feel, but you feel more grip over there for sure. Whereas in the upper sections and other parts of the stone, it's a little bit smoother. This one again, hard but not slippery. Clearly faster cutting than the last one by like a noticeable degree. I'm not against this one. It's a little bit more porous. You can see that it's soaking up a little bit more water. Man, I'm really not against this one.
I can just tell by looking at it. Cuts fast. Something that's amazing about natural stones, from stone to stone, it's so different.
Yeah, same mine, like same look,
It could
same
even- It
area.
could come from like literally like a couple few feet from each other.
I've seen that actually. Like there was a time where I was with one of the stone dealers and there was a big stone and we are like, we're gonna break this thing into like the smaller pieces because they have their sizes,
Yeah.
you know, like the 30s, the 50s, the 80s, all that kind of stuff. So they break them down into specific sizes so they fit X number into a box. And as we're cutting through, we're like, oh, let's test like different parts. And you can test like that you've cut from a stone, like the left side versus the right side, and it's different. Or like this level versus this level, and it's different. Which is really like kind of impressive in a way, but just crazy how different stuff can be for being literally like a next door neighbor. Yeah, this is again on the finer side of stuff. Still getting those like wispy white lines, not the kind of contrast, again, harder stone, so there's a little bit more streaking around the curve area. I have a feeling this is going to be an edge that I like again, but here, I'll give it a shot and let us know what you think. Yes, that lower right-hand corner, you can feel it catch
Yep.
like just in one spot or something.
Yeah, I'd hear it.
Yeah. You can feel it when you run your fingertips over it a little bit. So Daniel asked, are Nagara only for natural stones or can they also be used on hard ceramic stones? You could use natural Nagara on ceramic stones, absolutely, and some people use them to recondition stone surfaces. There are also synthetic Nagara that are more for conditioning stone surfaces and cleaning up stone surfaces than they are for working up mud, because the Nagara will be a different grit than the stone, and you end up often with the lower grit mixed in with your higher grit stones, which doesn't work out as well. But yeah, they can be used to recondition stone surfaces. Now, scratches on your stone surface aren't necessarily a bad thing. They can help produce faster cutting speeds, help the surface hold water better, and improve tactile feedback. So it really depends. You have to think about what you like or don't like as you go through and do stuff for yourself. Sorry, go ahead, Hero, with your thoughts.
I mean, I think it's as hard as the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I think the feedback is nice. It's just definitely faster cutting.
Yeah.
But am I in love with it? Probably still not.
Yeah, again, harder stone.
Yeah.
All right, Sam, let's hear what you got to say about it. I don't smell this one so much either, as long as we're going to talk about that ridiculousness. This one doesn't have such a strong smell that I can smell over here, whereas some of the other ones, even from my distance away from it, which is like 2.5 feet or so, I could smell some of them. This one, not so much. So what do you think so far, Sam?
Very similar to the last one we just used.
Yeah, but faster cutting.
Yeah, I definitely feel the coarseness right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel faster cutting.
And you can see it. Like you can see the metal coming off of the blade. And then after this, we're on to one last stone, right? Our grand
more.
finale. Oh, what's the?
Yeah, I messed up all the numbers for the copas. So we're going to 1, and then we have Shobu Suita.
I thought we did one already.
No.
No?
No, we
All
went
right.
from 2 to 3. Now we're
Oh
to
man.
1.
All right. Cool. Making progress. You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're right. I just thought I did, because this one looked like a tombstone to remind me of another one. It kind of looks like
That
one.
This
No,
one
no.
for sure looks like a
Yeah, it's like in like a western, where you see like
Yeah.
the coffin maker in like the city.
Ah.
Like that reminds me of that kind of stuff. We'll show people in a second. All right, thoughts? What you said before?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's like the scratch pattern along the edge is starting to get really fine where it's becoming more of a mist and less of defined scratches. And again, like I was saying, when you look at it from a slight angle, all of a sudden it's just like a crazy mirror. Sweet. All right. So now the tombstone. All right, so this is the Okudo Suita Copa number 1, the tombstone. Tell me this doesn't look like a tombstone.
Bring it down a little bit lower. Right there.
Boom. We should just call it that on the website. This is the tombstone stone. Alright. Let's readjust our stone holder here.
Our stone holder.
Our stone holder. Tombstone stone holder. So, similar to the last ones, there's some holes right here and a little gouge right here. They could have been dug out by someone or could just be a natural part of how the stone is. And there's like a light section of renge right here on the stone, but the rest is much more even and consistent. And same, hard. This one is fast cutting too. It feels like a very fine grit stone. I mean, these are fast. For these little guys, are like super fast cutting. I should follow one of these up with like some of the finger stones so people can see. Because when you look at this finish is deceptive. You look and it looks like kind of uneven. And you're like, how is that going to be? Is it good or bad? But I think it could be pretty sweet, pretty quickly with very little work. All right. Oh man, and it's definitely like a brighter look to it, and more smooth and even than the ones previously. But the edge is brighter for sure. All right, Hiro, give it a shot. Let us know what you think. Plus, like, how cool is it to be like I sharpened down a tombstone?
Definitely pretty hard.
Official stone of the Undertaker.
But it doesn't feel bad at all, though.
No, I think of those 3, this is my my favorite feeling one so far. It's like a lot of natural stones in one shot. And we've only been meaning to do this since like March. All right. It says our sound is cutting in and out. Sorry about that. Technology, some stuff. We're working on it.
Actually, I like this one out of the best out of the Okudo.
Of those 3, right? Yeah.
It's like feels the best in terms of like cutting speed versus like feel.
Yeah, there was a little bit more give to the surface.
Yeah.
Like it's hard, but it's not as hard as those last 2 were.
Especially when you build up the
Yeah.
little bit of mud.
All right, Sam, give it a shot. Let's see what you think. I'm surprised that I'm watching the video here on my laptop as we're shooting it, and I'm surprised that the quality of video is actually like
Pretty good.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like it's shockingly good for what we have set up in here right now.
And then like on your phone, it looks like so crisp.
Yeah, smaller screens. That's the way to go. We're just making stuff for mobile content now. You just got to look at it on your iWatch. That's going to be the best way to consume our videos.
Highest resolution.
That,
All right.
That stone would be like good before like a really nicely tightened.
Yeah, or like I would use this as like a Uraoshi stone.
Yeah.
Like it's firm, it cuts fast.
Yeah, Uraoshi for sure.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those ones where I'm like sure as I sharpen on it, I'm gonna get that super crisp feeling edge.
What's your favorite stone for Uraoshi that's in the tendon besides Tsushima?
I guess when I go about it, I don't switch stone. I'll use synthetic stones until I get up to like my last finishing stone.
Yeah.
So like I may not use the Monzento or Alto or something like that before I get to the Suita. And so I'll be using whatever my Uraoshi stone is for the synthetic stuff. And then when I get to the finishing stone in the natural, that's going to be the one that I use for sharpening, for the Uraoshi, and for the Koba. So like that Suita gets it a lot, or even the Hirariyama or Oluchi, or like the older Takashima Wasero that I have. I end up doing that. But really, like in synthetic stones, this Maido 7000, it's so cool for it. Yeah. All right, Sam. Thoughts?
In terms of looks, it's pretty, badass. It
Yeah.
does look like it too.
Right. Yeah.
But probably my least favorite of the last three.
That's funny. So we liked it the best. And which one of those three did you like the best? The second one? The one we just tried like right before this?
I can't remember.
Yeah. What? So it's just too hard, or?
Yeah, like skittish,
Okay.
which I don't like. But the finish is,
I think
Not
the
bad.
finish looks nicer on this than the other
Yeah.
ones also.
yeah.
Like it's
the
definitely
finish
got a
is
little
nicer.
bit more refined. Cool. All right, and then on to the last stone. This is the one I'm most excited about, like by far. Would you mind passing me the last stone?
And this is gonna be there it is.
So this is our Shobu Suita that I have been really excited about. Decent size, yeah, nice Shiro Suita. Man, looks beautiful. Sides are lacquered. Let's see how it goes. This is the kind of stone that I would sharpen on a lot. Like this is exactly in my collection. These are the stones that I use the most to finish kitchen knives, like Yanagiba, Usuba, stuff like that. So there's some renge here, all around this area. Some cool little patterns over here with the brown, reddish, rust-colored looking stuff, and feels nice and smooth. And let's see how this goes. Oh yeah, yeah, cool. So this is my stone of the night. We have Fight of the Night honors. Now we have Stone of the Night honors. It feels nice and muddy. It's firm, but it has some give to the surface. It's, again, not super hard. Not as hard as those last ones that we were on. Really, really nice. I'll bet this is going to leave a super cool finish, too. This is right up my alley. This is like the kind of thing you're going to like, Sam, I think. And Hiro. We're all going to be on the same page on this one, I have a feeling.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell.
Like nice mud. Sweet.
If you sharpen a Honyak, you probably get like a really, really beautiful like whitish haze.
Yeah,
Like that one.
for sure. Like a nice, smooth, even thing all the way through the bevel.
Yeah. So this one was sharpened on a Shiro Suita.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then once like the mud is there, getting like a nice, smooth looking even finish is a lot easier. Clearly, I'm not going to have the time to do everything perfectly in this video, but I have a feeling. Yeah, this is way nicer. So here you can see pretty smooth and even contrast with a little bit more work. There's some low spots on this particular knife and a little tiny bit of streaking over here. But this is totally the kind of thing that I mean, that's super smooth and nice and even looking. I'm super about this. Cool. All right, Hiro, you're up.
All right.
Caught like a little bit of skin, like right on the edge.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That's nice, right?
That's nice. Let's see this.
And
There
like,
it goes.
okay, so it's not like an inexpensive stone, but it's not crazy either. I think this one was like $550 or something like that.
This is worth $550.
This is cool.
This is nice.
Watch, this doesn't even make it onto the website because Hero's gonna end up going.
I'm gonna take it home after this, guys. Sorry. I claimed this one.
I should have done this with those Ashiya Suita. I mean, they went already, and it is what it is. But those ones were cool too. And I guess because I've never been such a natural stone focused website, you know, people don't think about that stuff on our website. But had some pretty fun stuff around that's been really nice for a lot of different things. And so as I'm thinking about those harder ones that we just got off of, I'll bet those would be really cool for like double bevel knives where I wasn't worried about like wide bevel or single bevel stuff so much, but where I just wanted that kind of like crisp edge.
Yeah.
I'll bet that would be really cool for that kind of stuff. But for me, I'm always thinking about like what's going to look pretty on a wide bevel or a single bevel, and
Yeah.
I mean this is it. This is the stone.
Yeah, I do love the feeling of
Oh yeah.
like the edge feeling of
Yeah.
the knuckle stone sleeve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks great.
Yeah.
All right, Sam, come and get in on this enjoyment.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, you can hear it like
Yeah, it
immediately.
sounds
Like you know, people start sharpening. You're like, oh, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, you know, for like all the stones we've done now. That like immediately, you know, it's like we agree this is it. Although those two Tomoe Copas were pretty
They're
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I like the Monsanto.
yeah.
The harder, the bigger Alto. Is like
That-
it
that
reminds
one
me
was
of-
cool,
it reminds
yeah.
me of my Tajima. I like that one.
On the finer grit side of
Yeah.
stuff. I think that really big Alto, or the really big Monsanto rather, was kind of nice for like
Yeah.
a medium grit natural stone, and it's huge,
It lasts a while.
huge.
It dishes faster than any natural stone because it's softer, but
Yeah.
like it's
That's true, actually. They definitely require more flattening
Yeah.
than pretty much any other natural stone that I
The
have.
Monsanto definitely dishes faster than anything else.
But I think it's like they're the stones that make it so easy to get a really nice looking base
Oh yes.
with like no effort. You know, it's like it's instant. It just
It's
happens.
so muddy that the high and
Yeah.
low spot, like works on the high and lows.
Sam, that's
Yeah.
you agree with us?
Yeah, favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hands down, right? Like it's not even a
Yeah.
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 Cool.
I did
Yeah,
like
you
the
can see
finish of that one.
Oh, with
All the way
the
up
the
there.
edge shine,
Yeah.
that Tomoe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the Shobu Tomoe Copa, the second one that we did, which was
Yeah.
the Shobu Tomoe Copa number 1. These numbers are going to get confusing. We will come up with a better system for this. But in the meantime, you guys can see the kind of beautiful Kasumi finish that this has here. So, we're going to try and get all these stones up on the website.
Can I try them?
Yeah. Oh, now Josh wants to get in on
So
this.
you guys just said it was so good.
It is
It's
good,
really
man.
good. It's like holy shit. You know what it reminds me of? The your Shobu Suita,
Yeah.
the yellow one.
Wow. Yeah,
It's cool, right?
Yeah, it feels really nice. I have no frame of reference, but
It's like,
feels
this is
really
the first
good.
natural stone. Now you've used natural stones.
Yeah,
before.
yeah, but not. I don't have like
Honyaki.
extensive
Yeah.
experience with them.
Like,
Feels really good.
I
Yeah.
like Shobu Suita finish.
Yeah, that's I like the finish on that.
Yeah, it's similar to the one that we use here. Like they're talking about this one that we use here all the time. It's most similar to that. Cool. And the smell. We got to test for the smell.
I
Yeah,
didn't smell it.
we'll put smelling notes up on the website too.
Smelling notes up there. All right. So, boom. So, we got these all tested out. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed hearing our thoughts on these and kind of seeing them in action. And not just one person, but a few people's thoughts on them. We're going to get them on the website. We're going to figure out a way that we can link directly to the time slots that each of these stones fits into. So, you'll be able to jump quickly and see what's going on with each of these stones. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you guys later.
I saw the finish on your knife.